Go wild. I don't know what's gonna come out.
George.
How's it going?
She goes,
Pleasure.
Did you
nice
say
to
you're
meet
gonna
you.
go wild?
Yeah, I don't know
Let's
what's gonna come
fucking
out
go.
right now.
This is
I'm feeling wild. I'm
Let's
feeling
go.
wild.
Get that thing rolling,
Becky
boys.
Lynch is here. Are we rolling?
Let's go nuts.
Were we rolling? We share agents.
Oh hell yeah! Awesome.
That's awesome. That's one cool thing so far.
Yeah, and we share stealing the goddamn show.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Are we recording? Are we doing
Yeah,
this?
we're ready.
think
We're
so.
rolling.
Do you wear headphones when you do the programs?
No. Do I need them?
No, you
Will
don't-
I
you don't
listen
have
to
to.
my? I don't want to hear
No,
my
you
own
don't
voice.
have to.
It sounds great. I love your voice.
It's very husky right now.
Husky.
Husky, thanks to Bianca Belair.
Oh man. I don't want to. Do you want to talk about it? Because I don't want to. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? Last night I go out there to the ring. I go out by myself, like I always do, always by myself. And then here she comes with a freaking army. An army. I was by myself. She has an army. Of course, that's going to throw me off my game. There was an army with her. I don't know how many people were there. 100 people? I'm by myself. Of course, it threw me off my game.
I was rehearsing, my walkout, and I saw her walk out with a entire band, and she rehearsed it like 4 times. And I too was wondering why she got this special thing. No offense, obviously, but
I mean, mine was pretty special too.
Well, you didn't have an army.
I didn't have an army, which is why I lost.
She had an entire band backstage.
An entire band. But I didn't know. Maybe somebody was going to come along with a trombone, hit me in the back of the head. I don't know. If I had an army, that's what I would do. You know?
Have you been hit with a trombone before? Has that ever happened?
I mean, look, not yet. But this is the wrestling business.
Right,
you never know what's going to happen. A trombone, a trumpet, a clarinet, they could be flying willy-nilly all over the place.
Do you feel like you were kind of like cheated a little bit? Like if you had a chance to one-on-one and like without all the theatrics that you could pull it off?
Of course. I already beat her in 26 seconds. I beat her in 26 seconds. It shouldn't have lasted
That's
so
like
long.
Masvidal all the time.
But that was only because it got in my head. It got in my head. The army got in my head. But I dominated her. I don't know if you watched, but I dominated her.
Right.
The next time I got her.
But you don't even care. It's not.
I don't even care, but I do care. But no, here's the thing. Yeah. You're right. I don't care. But I do care. But I care a little bit. But the thing is that when I lose, right? And when I lose, I really win because I come back stronger. That's what happens. Yeah. Okay. This is a good thing. That's good. I'm glad we had this.
You're
telling us to yourself. This is a real-time discovery.
I'm glad we had this powwow because when I lose, I come back stronger. Right? It's happened before. It happened at SummerSlam 2018. And then I became the man. Then it became the biggest thing in the entire industry. It happened at Royal Rumble 2019. I lost my match early on in the night, and then I came back and won the Royal Rumble. This is good, guys. This is good. I'm going to come back stronger than ever.
100%.
It's a real-time discovery.
You know how you build muscle? By breaking down muscle. First, you got to tear that shit. Then you got to get back in there, and you come back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
With an army and a trombone.
Yeah, and a clarinet and a trumpet.
Yes, all that stuff.
Yes, maybe bring a flute for good measure. How are you feeling?
I'm so good.
Oh, good.
I'm sore. Wow, some of those moves hurt.
Yeah, they do, huh? You did great.
Thank you. You wished me luck beforehand.
I'm a lucky charm.
No, you really are. Is that a Scottish accent I'm hearing?
Oh, it's Irish.
Irish.
Hence the lucky charm.
Oh, you just offended a lot of people there, Logan.
To be fair, he did not.
No.
He did not. We like the Scots. Right?
Oh,
I'm
got it.
down with the Scots.
Got it.
It's the English that stole our potatoes. it's the English that.
You still mad about the potato famine?
Still a little
Really?
bit. I think
What
it's
was that? What was that?
ingrained,
18?
you know,
What was that?
it's ingrained.
1812. 1812.
Yeah. It's ingrained. It's just we're born with it in our DNA. We come out going potato.
So you've obviously come a long way from Ireland.
Yeah.
You're sitting in this atrium right now in the middle of Dallas, Texas, with a couple of idiots doing a podcast.
How did you get here? How did you get to this point?
I don't know.
How many potatoes did you eat?
So many. I just had some for breakfast. I don't know, man. I ask myself that question all the time. I was a little stoner and a drunk. Of course, I'm Irish. When I was younger, and I was going down a bad track, and just just doing all the things that I shouldn't. And I was failing PE. How does anybody fail PE? And
Did you not show up? Like,
I showed up. That's the problem. I showed up, and I don't know.
dude, even I passed PE, and I couldn't even spell PE.
I don't know. I must have just been so bad, and I failed PE. Made my mom cry. All those bad things. And then I was like, I got to get my life in order. I got to get stuff together. But I didn't want to go to a gym. That seemed too conventional for me. And I found out they were opening a wrestling school. One of our wrestlers now, Finn Balor, thank you very much. Finn Balor opened a wrestling school in Bray, which is about an hour away from where I live. And I was like, I love wrestling. That's how I'm going to go get fit. I'm going to be a wrestler. And so and so I went down, and I was expecting, to go in. I'd see a wrestling ring. Of course, you'd see a wrestling ring in a wrestling school. And I walk in, there's no wrestling ring. It's just 6 blue padded mats on the floor, and that's how we learned to wrestle for the first 3 months. And then we finally got a wrestling ring, and I'll never forget standing in that thing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is what I've watched on TV. This thing is magic. And I was hooked. It turned my whole life around. I got more disciplined when it came to school, when it came to diet, when it came, I stopped drinking, doing all the bad stuff. And here I am. Well, that's not how I got here. I then ended up quitting for 7 years and then came back, but that's how it started. No, and I ate lots of
painted
potatoes.
That pretty vividly.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
I felt
amazing.
that. in my
Yeah,
heart.
same.
Until the 7-year break, what the fuck happened? Dude, you painted that shit, and then you were like, and then 7 years. 7 years is a long time, bro. What were you doing in 7 years?
She was in jail for killing her PE teacher.
Mrs. Corcoran, you bitch.
You still remember her?
Yeah, of course I do. She was a little butterball too.
We all remember our
Failing me
PE
for
teachers.
PE.
He remembers one of his teachers. I remember one of his teachers, Mr. Zubaidi.
Mr. Zubaidi was the best.
love
He was
him.
my astronomy teacher. I got expelled from high school for selling drugs, and he was the only one that would come meet me, and all the other teachers like shunned me, and he would come meet me at Dunkin' Donuts after he got out of school at 4:30, and he made sure that I made it through high school.
Oh, man. What
You
a
bought drugs
sweet-
from him, so.
Why do you have to turn my most heartwarming moments into horrible stuff?
never have one, Mike.
And I never got a chance to go thank him. He passed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it sucked. I wrote about it in the on Amazon.
Well, you have a book?
Stop. Okay.
You got a book?
No, please. Stop, please. Does
No,
anyone
do you have a book?
Yes,
Because
yes.
I'm currently writing my book.
Oh, let's connect. I'd love to connect with you.
That would
and
be
talk about
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put out a book. The audience does not want to hear about it ever again.
It's
So-
actually exciting. As soon as you put out your first book, you get to talk about it all the time.
Oh,
They
I
tease me. I
love
don't-
to talk about myself, so this is great.
No, I love it. Actually, like even yesterday, dude, like a guy that you wouldn't even think would ever come up to Mike, like the interaction that he gets with people that reads his book, I'm actually jealous of it. It's pretty cool.
That's
They have a
awesome.
great connection.
You're obviously very good at articulating and speaking. I'm glued to when you speak. And I want you to describe to me what it was about wrestling that was able to pull you out of this unhealthy, like, kind of negative lifestyle.
So I think it was several things, right? That one, I saw it on TV, and I don't know if you guys remember Tough Enough. Did you watch?
Yeah.
Did you watch Tough Enough? And I remember these people getting this opportunity to become professional wrestlers, and so many of them, they would quit, or they would give up, or they would complain. I was like, what are you doing? Come on, this is your one shot. You're in there with Triple H. You're in there with Stone Cold. What are you doing? And I would lose my mind as a little 13, 14, 15-year-old kid watching this thing. And I think that ability to show toughness really appealed to me, that I wanted to prove that I was tough, that I was hardcore, and it kind of gave me an identity. But wrestling, it's first of all, I felt special, First of all, I was the only girl there, and I felt like, I'm the only girl hanging in a man's world. I'm this 15-year-old kid who's by the way, had to lie about my age to even get into the class because you had to be 16. And I felt like it gave me an identity, that I was always searching for something. I didn't know who I was lost, didn't know what I wanted to do. And it gave me an identity and something that I could sink my teeth into and improve at and notice myself getting better. Even though I was awful, I was so bad when I began, that I loved it so much that I wanted to improve, and I'd never had that before. I didn't care if I got better at PE or anything else. It didn't interest me. But here was this thing and this art, and there's so much that goes into it. You've got the athleticism, you've got the performance, you've got the storytelling, and it's the storytelling, I think, that really hooked me more than anything, because anybody can go out and do the moves. This guy goes out and does the moves.
Triple H told me that.
You're absolutely awesome.
He told me that literally right before I went on. Triple H came up to me and was like, was it Triple H?
Yeah,
backstage?
It was Triple H.
Okay. I'm gonna get grilled for that.
You had a long night.
Kill you for that
You had a long night, everybody. All right.
He goes, just so you know, it's not always about the physicality. He goes, the people want to see your charisma. And I'm like, all right, they want to see you, your personality. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I took that. I actually took that. Like I was thinking about what he said during some of the displays and trying to just come through the screen and so people could feel my emotion. And I can already tell, like, you do such a good job of that.
No,
You're
but
so invested.
You killed with that,
Oh,
and
thank
you told a great story. And it's funny because a lot of people come in, they don't want to be the bad guy, and you were so comfortable in that role. And
You
it was
think so?
so
He's used to it.
yes, but it was it was so fun to watch. It was so fun for all of us backstage and the audience to watch, and it was great.
Thank you. I don't want to be a bad guy.
Oh, you don't want to be a bad guy.
I don't want to be a heel.
Oh, you're so good at it. But also, you're very good at your comedic timing. I was watching that when you were doing the stuff with Rami, with Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah.
Before, and your comedic timing
thank
was
you.
fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to be liked. Like I don't want, like okay, like I'm a heel now, I guess technically, but like maybe I could be a babyface one day. Cause you were a babyface.
I was a babyface for a long time, but the thing is a lot of the time when you're so good at being a heel, you become a babyface. Because one, you're having fun, right? Like it's so fun. It's so fun to be a heel because you don't care what anybody thinks, and what freedom that is.
That is
because
true.
We all go around caring about what people think of us and their opinions of us, and it's so easy to offend anybody now more than ever, and to know that we're offending people. And so to have people like you, if they do like you, the adulation is great and you feel amazing. But to have that freedom to go, I don't care what you think of me. I'm going to do my thing, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And then, because you have that attitude, everybody wants to have that attitude. And they go, oh, man, that person's cool. I like them.
There is an extreme freedom in that. I told these guys because when I walk out, people boo, and these are my friends, and people are fucking booing me. Like everyone's booing me.
I just wanted to be like everybody else does.
And I'm like, no, like it's fine, it's okay. You live in that space, and the WWE has actually taught me that lesson to kind of just like disconnect. Don't take it too personal. Put on that big show. Piss people off. Fuck y'all, bro. Like, I'm going to go out there and do my thing regardless. And there's so much freedom and, I don't know, strength and being able to just remove yourself and put on an amazing show. And I don't know. Do you like being the heel better than a babyface?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because of that freedom, man. You can do no wrong if you're a heel.
Yeah.
You can do no wrong. They hate you. You're doing your job. They love you. Great. I'm awesome. So it's fun. But then it is that thing. You got to remove yourself from the character because when it's your art and when you feel so connected to it, this is my life, man. I'm putting my life on the line for you. I'm putting my life on the line. And you're telling me I'm no good at the thing I'm putting my life on the line to entertain you? Excuse me? And you get that chip on your shoulder, and that's fun too, But when you go out there and the crowd is just reacting and you're able to tell the story, you're just telling a story. And when you feel that, when you feel them either loving you, hating you, getting getting into all of the moves, everything. It's just, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It's like theater on crack. It's great.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey, are you relapsing?
Dude.
Does anyone ever? Have you ever seen The Fifth Element before?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get that all the time? You
No,
literally.
well, no, because this is a new hairdo. Again, thanks to Bianca Belair, who beat me last night. So yeah, because before I had long red hair, long, luscious, gorgeous, beautiful, flowing red hair, like the child from Brave, you know.
Well, you're gonna start hearing it all. Leo Lulu.
Yeah.
That's her. You're gonna be hearing about it all the time.
What does she say? She has a line. What is she? Lilu Dallas.
Lulu Dallas. Yeah.
Lilu Dallas.
That's all she could say.
Which is quite very appropriate right now that we're in Dallas.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, she's way smarter than us. We didn't even make that connection at all. This kid is.
Every WWE superstar we've sat down with has this radiant personality. You are electric. I can feel
Hers is the biggest.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Number one, easily.
Thanks.
And with that, you can do so much.
Oh.
Do you have aspirations beyond WWE?
Oh man, I just love performing. I love talking. I love and now writing. I love writing. So we're gonna have to chit chat later.
Absolutely.
We have the same age,
have
like
the
we said when we
same
started. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
you
your
can't
agent.
whisper it into
That
the
is your
mic.
agent.
Like, is it Brad? Is it Brad?
And so, yeah, man, yeah, I did my degree in acting. And when I was gone for those 7 years that we never talked about.
Yeah, I love how you like
we never
skipped
talked
past
about.
We all laughed and she went, anyways. So it's like, oh, she was in prison, 100%.
So for those 7 years, I'll give you a quick recap. I went to Orlando, did a personal training diploma, was like, oh, no, I don't want to be a personal trainer. I like training. I don't like training other people. They just stand at me and jiggle their fat at me. They go, how do I get rid of this? That's all anybody ever says to you when you're training. And they grab it right there and they go, how do I get rid of this?
Since I figure it out.
Every single time. Every single
I
time.
was gonna ask you that. Now I'm not gonna.
You went from failing PE class to failing people in PE class. You were like the worst trainer ever.
Yeah.
Just skip the PE, man. Just get out of it.
Skip it. Become professional wrestlers. It's the only way. And then, so from there, I went, and my mom was a flight attendant. She was handing in her resignation. She was like, you want me to hand in your resume? I was like, sure. I became a flight attendant for a bunch of years. And then in that...
Hold on.
Hey, buddy, we're landing. Buckle up and put your fucking tray table up, all right? You don't want to piss me off, buddy. Show your nuts.
You were a flight attendant?
I was a flight attendant.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
For Spirit Airlines.
Man, I would have
There's
gone
no
away with so
turbulence.
much
Jesus,
more.
Bro, can
Somebody's
you imagine an anti-masker on her flight? I don't think so. Okay.
So and then in between I did some mad stuff, like I went off and did like practice Muay Thai in Thailand and taught English as a foreign language, and just while I was doing that. And then I left that, and then I went back to college and then did my degree in acting. And I did that in Ireland in a college called the Dublin Institute of Technology, and then went to Columbia College in Chicago. Then finished my degree in Ireland again. And then when I was done with that, I was trying to get work, and I was handing out my resume left, right, and center, headshots, whatnot. Couldn't really get anything until they were filming The Vikings, you know, the TV show?
Oh, yeah.
So my resume landed on somebody's desk, and they looked at it, and I had all this physical experience, you know, scuba diving, random stuff that I'd picked up in the 7 years that I was gone. And of course, wrestling. And they said, oh, a stunt woman. So they handed it off to the stunt department. So I get a call from the stunt department of Ireland going, hey, Rebecca, you do stunts? And I'm like, yeah, I do stunts. That's what I do. I do stunts. They're like, oh, cool. Well, we're doing the stunt driving course. Do you want to come down, hang out? We'll see if we're a good match. So I go down, do the stunt driving course. Was awful. I'm a terrible driver. But anyway, we hit it off. And they were like, well, do you want to do a stint on the Vikings? I was like, yes, I do. but I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I was like, well, look, I was good at wrestling. I was real good at wrestling. Wrestled all over. We'll go back. I wrestled all over Japan. Wrestled all over America. Moved off at like 18, kind of 15, and was all over the world doing this thing until I gave up. And so I was like, well, maybe if I go back to wrestling school, take a few classes, and then I'll take what I know from that, apply it to stunts. Nobody will know that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Y'all are cursing, so now I feel like I can't.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Fucking go for it.
It's great. It's great. Anyway, and so then I went down to this class, and the guy who was teaching the class, my friend Joe Cabray, he was like, "Oh man, you still got it. Would you ever think of doing a WWE tryout?" And I was like, "Nah, man. You know, that time has passed. I'm not wrestling anymore. I'm acting. I'm doing stunts." And he was like, "Well, I think you should go for it because I think you'd get it." And like with that, I was like, "That's it. I have to." Because in those 7 years, every time I journaled my whole life, I would just write about how I had unfinished business. There was things that I wanted to do. I wanted to main event WrestleMania, but look, my time's passed. I got to move on. I've got to move on. I just kind of treated it like a death almost, like it was something I just had to grieve and move on from. And then when he said it, like it felt like I was just being pulled, like, oh, this is what I was meant to do. This is my purpose. And all the steps along the way, even though at the time I didn't know what I was doing, I felt so lost. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. And then I got to WWE, and I was awful. It was back to PE with Mrs. Corcoran. I was so in my own head. I couldn't put one foot in front of the other. And every day I was on the chopping block. Every day I think they were like, this girl, I don't know what we're doing with her. And so but here I am. I made it through. I made it through. So that means that if I can make it through that and still come out and be the main event of WrestleMania, then I can get beat last night and come back better than ever.
Let's go.
Bring it all back.
Can I ask what age you were upon your return to wrestling?
Upon my return to wrestling, 25.
Great age.
So, but I'm just curious how you had chalked yourself up at such a young age.
As in,
like you thought it was over. You thought your wrestling career was over. Time has passed, but you're 25. You can still do anything at 20. You can do anything now. You can still do anything anytime.
50, 60.
That's
even.
true, right? But at the time, the actual cutoff for women that they were looking for was 25. They were looking for women from age 18 to 25.
Oh, it was like a Leonardo DiCaprio situation. 25 was kind of like the cutoff where they just...
so
18 to 25.
But at the time, right, like women's wrestling wasn't where it is right now.
Right.
Where we weren't seen on par with the men in terms of the stories we can tell and the matches that we can put on. It was still
A man's...
the divas era a
yeah.
little bit, and the women there were great, but they had this expectation of the girls are just looks come first. And and even when I went for my tryout, they said, "Look, we like you, we think you're great, but we don't know what day you're going to show up on the desk. They might just be looking for models that day."
Got it.
And so I ain't no model. So I was like, but everything that happened, I was like, this has to happen. There's no other way. There's no other way. I'm getting this, and I got it. And here we are. Here we are sitting here in Dallas.
Now that's okay. I see how you got here now in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Book, writing.
Yes.
We're talking.
Yep.
Have to. It's an exciting process. I'll hook you up with some people. It's a ton of fun. You're a writer yourself, so you're already writing.
I'm already writing. I've got like a draft. I actually started taking a writing class just so that I can make sure that it's the best it can be.
I think it's so cool that you journal.
Oh, I love it, man. I feel like it's my counseling. It's my therapist.
Yeah.
Very cathartic.
Handwritten?
Yes. Yeah.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Old school
yeah.
journal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I feel like pen and paper. That's the best way to do
The
it.
lost art of pen and paper. I do.
You do pen and paper. Oh, you do it on that?
Do you know why?
Phone.
My thoughts come out of my head way too quick for my hand to keep up.
He's lying. He doesn't know how to write. He never learns.
I don't know how to spell.
He can only
So I
use this
dictate.
thing right here. That's it. Hey, well,
awesome.
Dude, you're awesome. You're so cool. Thank you so much for coming on
No,
Impulsive.
thank you guys for having me. This was a pleasure. I appreciate it. And well done last night, man.
Thank you.
Really, that was. It's not an easy thing we do, and I don't think people realize how hard it is. And then when you see somebody that comes in like you and is able to apply what we do and the storytelling and the moves and everything, it's so impressive, especially for somebody like me who nothing ever came easy. Like, no, I was not natural at anything, and then when I see somebody who's a natural, I'm like, wow,
Dang.
that's fucking unreal.
You're
Fair play.
You're so nice.
And then I get a little jealous.
Fuck that guy.
God, took me
thank you.
20 years to get here. You're awesome.
Thank you so much,
Another
Becky.
potato stolen from me.
Well, thanks for coming on Impulsive.
Oh, my pleasure.
God dang.
Thank you for having
We
me.
love you, Becky.
Oh, I love you guys.
Heck yeah.